Hillbilly Hook, we had played a show at 12th and Porter, which was a Billy Block show actually, and I got done playing and we all went over to Tin Roof to hang out, and as soon as I walked in, this girl walked up to me named Jules Hanson, and she was, you may remember, she was on Nashville Star for a little bit, and, you know, she's a great songwriter here in town, and she ran up to me and she grabbed me and she'd been drinking a little bit, and she's like, Vinny, I got this hook and I want to ride it with y'all, I'm like, all right, what is it? And she said, it's called Off the Hillbilly Hook, and I was like, you got to promise me you're going to write that with. She goes, I promise. So next day I called her about 10:30 and maybe 10, something like that. And I asked her if she was sure she wanted to write that song with us. And she was like, yeah, I want to write it. She goes, when do you want to get together? And I said, right now. And she said, okay. And she was a little hungover and everything, but she came in anyways. And we sat down and started writing. And then Butter came in probably 30 minutes after we started and jumped in on the guitar and, you know, helped us really make it what it is. So it was definitely a cool thing to have a girl come up to us and believe in us, and I mean, she could have took that hook to probably anybody would have wrote it with her, you know, and she brought it up and said, I want to write this with y'all because I believe in y'all, so.
It's hard to believe from that meeting after a show to, you know, where we are now.
Right. Yeah.
Everything that we have sort of, that we're hinging ourselves on right now is based off the Hillbilly Hook, and it happened 2 years ago after a show, some girl coming up and saying, hey, I've got a song idea.
Yeah.
You know, that's the amazing thing about, you know, all of the songs, but Off the Hillbilly Hook now especially because it's everything that Trailer Choir is going to get known for our first song and video. So. Rockin' the Beer Gut. She's rockin' the beer gut. One of the most identifiable songs I think that Trailer Choir has. I think it will be one of the songs that will play forever in our shows and kind of be known for. It's one of the few songs that I've ever seen sort of get to a crowd that doesn't know who you are. Many times, you know, in the way that we've begun with Trailer Choir, you know, we've been on tour with Toby Keith all last summer, and we were in a lot of positions where we were playing in front of people that didn't know who we were or didn't know that we were coming necessarily, and Beer Gut's one of those songs that kind of can, and somebody listening for the first time, just walking by with a cold beer on their way somewhere can hear this thing and get pulled into it. And
I was such a fan of this song before I joined the group, and I remember the first time I actually heard y'all play this song, and it's funny because it does really kind of identify what Trailer Choir is all about. It's funny, it's smart writing, and I heard it, and when Butter started singing that first line of the chorus, I turned to a friend of mine and I said, that is the smartest thing I've heard in a long time, because it's just funny, but it just gets your attention.
Sunshine.
Rolling Through the Sunshine. The story of Rolling Through the Sunshine. Butter, I was up at the office and me and Butter really just kind of first started becoming friends, and our buddy Isaac Rich. And Butter one night when we was getting ready to all leave the office, he's like, man, I got this thing I've had for a long time, and he played me this dun 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 dun. So the next day I'm at work and I'm sitting there at the grill and this thing is stuck in my head. And I only heard it that one time as I was leaving the office. Maybe he played it twice, but it was stuck in my head, and I was like, man, I love that, you know. And I had this title called Rolling Through the Sunshine, and I was sitting there I was like, that would be cool to have with this. So I called Butter while I was sitting there flipping burgers at Sonic, you know, and called him. I was like, Butter, I think I got the title for this song for the thing you were playing me. And he had that thing, he had that melody for 5 years, you know. And so I called him. I said, I think it's called Rolling Through the Sunshine. And I told him that, and then
I was like, absolutely. As soon as he said it was the first time I was like, that's it. That's exactly what it is.
And he called me back 30 minutes later, and he had started writing on some of it, and he had the kind of the melody going, and then I called him back with some melody stuff, and we basically sit there and was writing half of the song from the phone, you know, and then got together the next night, me, him, and our buddy Isaac Rich, and wrote up the rest of the song, and I don't even think we got the whole thing finished that night. I think we changed the second verse like 3 times before we got it the right way, you know, so.
In my next 5 beers, I'll probably still be sitting right here. In my next 5 beers is a story of anybody that's ever had this happen to them. It's happened to me, might have happened to you. You're sitting at the end of a bar after a long work week, just relaxing, not worrying about the future, not worrying about an hour from now, just hanging out with your buddy drinking a cold beer. And somebody comes in this situation, it happens to be a young business lady who's in the bar with her briefcase and her Bluetooth and her gold tooth and her Palm Pilot, and she's all over the place, and she's talking about all these things she's going to do. And here's this guy at the end of the bar who's trying to set all that aside for just a little bit and have a little bit of fun. So she starts in on him. She's like, well, what are you going to do with your life? And how do you expect to get anywhere if you're just sitting here and you're not, doing like I am? And so that's where the story begins, as this gentleman expresses to this lady that in his next 5 years is his next 5 beers. He doesn't care what's going to happen tomorrow. He knows in his next 5 beers he's going to have a good time with his friends, and his whole goal is to reach across the bar and grab a long neck. That's it. Hello, my name is Butter, aka Mark, aka Hudson sometimes. I'm from a little town called Ashtabula, Ohio. It's the most northeastern tip of Ohio. I could hit an 8-iron to Pennsylvania or to Lake Erie from where I live. It's a really neat little town. It's not big city at all, and I didn't really realize how sort of hillbilly redneck I was growing up, because I grew up in Ohio and it wasn't the South. And it's funny, when I moved down to Nashville, how I realized that I was actually part hillbilly or part redneck. They didn't even know it. Our little town is a great sports town, a lot of stuff growing up, and had some cool music things that I was involved in, but I've been in Nashville for over 10 years, so it's kind of like my home now here in Nashville.
My name's Big Vinny, aka Vinny Mac, aka Big Guy, whatever.
Big Sexy.
Big Sexy. I got a lot of nicknames. I'm
Mount
like
St.
Apollo
Helens.
Creed and Rocky. And if you're not a Rocky fan, you wouldn't get that. But I'm a Rocky fan. So, anyways, I come from Perry County, Tennessee, and my actual town that I lived in, I actually lived on Marsh Creek, but everything evolved, and Perry County was called Perry County. It don't matter if it was Linden, Louisville, Flatwoods, whatever. We called it Perry County because it was so small. And whenever I was a kid, I played football, and I also worked at the Sonic. But we didn't have a Sonic in our hometown. We had to drive to the neighboring town. But the year after I graduated high school, go figure, we get our own Sonic, and I worked there forever and just loved it. It was like they become part of my family, and I even miss it sometimes now, even though I'm not saying I would rather do better than what I'm doing now, but I miss it sometimes. But football was a big part of my life. Sonic was a big part of my life. I was kind of on my own from the time I was 14, and my dad and my mom were both alive and at the time, and they were good. I just had to kind of do my own thing because I had so many brothers and sisters. We didn't have enough room in the houses, so kind of went on and done my own thing, and then here I got me here somehow. I don't even know how. My little brother started teaching me how to play guitar, and the next thing you know, I was writing songs, and the next thing you know, I met Butter, and he made all my dreams come true.
You crazy.
Oh, hi, I'm Crystal, and I am originally from a little tiny town. It's kind of hard to explain. I'm technically from a town called Meeker, and we have a caution light, that's about it. Meeker's not even on the Louisiana map, so I had a LeCount phone number growing up and a Cheneyville address. So it's kind of hard to say exactly where I'm from, but we say Cheneyville, Louisiana, which is a little farming community. I grew up on a little farm in Mid-South Louisiana and moved to Nashville. I won't say how many years ago, but I moved to Nashville when I was 19.
Over 20.
No, stop it.
21 and a half.